Hello everyone, welcome to a zoo game comparison, a series where I take a bear exhibit I designed and build it in several different zoo games. So if you haven't watched the first episode where I go through the design of the bear exhibit, I recommend you watch it out. It makes this episode a lot easier to follow. And if you haven't watched all the other episodes, I recommend you watch that, because this is the final episode where I'm playing Planet Zoo, finally. So it took a while. I was expecting to get this video out a bit sooner. The problem is I did have a little bug. I don't know if you watched some of my Planet Zoo beta videos, you would have seen this, but the game didn't allow me to save anything and it continued over into the main game, and I later found out that the reason why is just because my save folder was actually just missing. So I did find a form on Jurassic World Evolution, I believe. Yeah, it was the same problem on the Jurassic World Evolution form, but pretty much the form just tells you how you can restore the save folder, and you should be good to go after that. So if you ever have the problem where the game just crashes when you try and save, or it doesn't allow you to save anything, just check the description, I'll link that form there. But anyway, on to the video at hand, which is Planet Zoo. Well, I'm going to be mixing up Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo for a long while. It's going to take a while before that's fixed between us, and I know a lot of other people do that as well. But anyway, so yeah, we're playing Planet Zoo, and it's really a great game. There's actual climbable climbing frames. I've seen the bear climb on a little bit on my climbing frame that I built later on, but I haven't seen it properly, so hopefully we can see that together. There's actual underwater viewing, as you can see in the background right there, which is really cool. And some of the other things that are great about Planet Zoo is the rock work. The rocks are pretty amazing. There's a lot of good rocks you can build structures with. Like you have flat rock faces that you can make walls with or roofs with. It's really useful. Like last episode in Planet Coaster, I used the terrain paints to actually make the waterfall at the back to make the rocks there. In this game I use the structural rocks, because you can do that. And if I'm going to be honest, the terrain paints in this game, well, the rock one at least, get very repetitive if you use it on large scale. So it doesn't actually look that great when you mix it with terrain, whereas in Planet Coaster you can actually use the terrain to create nice rock faces. So use that in substitution of actual rock. So I'm not sure why the terrain paint in Planet Zoo for rock at least is a little lower quality, but that's not a big deal because we have nicer rocks. I just need to practice with them a lot more to try and see if I can make large rock structures, because I feel they turn out a bit flat now and again. Yeah. Anyway, instead of making custom walls like I did in Planet Coaster, I decided to actually use the barrier tool. So like, if I do make custom walls, there's a nice advantage that it looks custom, looks original, sometimes look better, but in this case there's just supposed to be a concrete wall around it. I decided to use the barrier tool, just give it a go and make it look a bit different from the Planet Coaster video as well. And it's also a lot easier to just use the barrier tool. Custom walls take longer, but I guess that's the price you pay for quality. Hey? I think now I'm making the river, and the water VFX tools are really great. I think there's a few more options than there were in Planet Coaster. The options we get actually do look quite decent, so you will see me use it now. I think I use the river rapids to make the stream, and well, some waterfall tools and all that. See, there you see me going in with the custom rocks. Yeah, so I believe now I'm actually gonna grab the water things and start building the little river. So in terms of the animal needs, I don't really care for the animals. Like, I don't care in Zoo Tycoon 2, because the animal needs were like, really, they needed this specific terrain and this specific plants, and I just ignored them. And I'm gonna do the same thing in Planet Zoo here, because some of the things are unrealistic. Like, the bear needs a certain amount of rock and a certain amount of grass, and I kinda get that, but it's not really realistic, because animals should be fine with like really the terrain. By eyeballing it, like, we're just thinking this should be right, it really should. The animals, are very picky with the terrain. And the plants annoy me the most. I I don't understand why the plants have to be from the same region. It really doesn't make sense at all. The bear sees a palm tree, he's gonna have a cardiac arrest. That's kind of what the game is. Okay, not a cardiac arrest, but you know what I mean. The animals have to have plants from their local varieties, which doesn't make sense. By that logic, my neighbor's German shepherds, who are descended from wolves, should be freaking the hell out 24/7 because there's a massive palm tree in the exhibit. So yeah, I don't really like that, and I'm gonna ignore that whenever I build my exhibits. But anyway, even in this exhibit, I checked the bear's final welfare, and with the space and the enrichment items, even though I got plants completely wrong, the bear still seems to be happy, and even though some of the terrain doesn't completely match what it's needed, it's still fine, it still has good welfare, so I guess it's not completely, entirely needed to have spectacular welfare for your bears. Another thing I try to do, you'll see me do now, is add multiple habitat gates, I believe, yeah. And you can only have one, which is a real shame because I wanted many, like one, like you'll see me do now. One will go into the actual exhibit, one will go in, or two that will go into the night rooms. So I try and walk around it by deleting the fences, but as soon as I hooked up the fences and try and put a bear inside it, it doesn't see it as an exhibit. So yeah, you have to have only one habitat gate, which is a bit annoying. And as you see, I work in this night room, and I actually had a lot of fun doing this this interior for the night room of the bears. Which is probably because in Zoo Tycoon 2, when you do interiors, it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. You'll just have the holding pens for the bears, put hay on the ground, and then for all the staff stuff, you'd have this similar building set that you would use every single time. And it just got so repetitive. And now I probably enjoyed it because it's something new to do. It's all these new items. I can make my own custom shelves. So I'm definitely gonna do custom interiors for a while. So as you can see, I found out that you can't have multiple habitat gates. So let's try and put a gate for the actual night room. I use this big old door and spread it between the two night rooms. And then I put these little wood pillars to make it look a little better. And then I had to remove these wood pillars afterwards because immediately after the bear climbed up the wood pillars and escaped the habitat, the exhibit. I have no idea how, but yeah, I put some brick ones. Now you also see me making a custom habitat door. So yeah, a door into the night room that looks like it's permanently open. So I use those little L shapes, those upside down L shapes. And I think I use one of these signs actually, the tech signs, because it has this metal sheen on it, and it looks like the door, and the bear can actually go through it. You'll see me messing around with the what's it called, the pathfinding thing, so they can actually go through and go into those night rooms, which I think is really cool. So I'm definitely going to do that a bit more. Have my own custom what you call it, doors and night rooms. I'm definitely going to try and do more interiors for night rooms. So now for a change in these speedballs, I actually make the building frame. All the other times when I do the speedballs, it's like I run out of time before I can build the the building frame. I always build the elevated path first, so this time I switch it around. I build the climbing structure first, and then I kind of cut out the elevated. I think I cut out some of the path where I make the elevated the elevated path. I'm confusing the words footage and path here. I don't know how I'm doing that, but yes. So I also cut out some terrain and rock work because it gets really repetitive. But anyway, but anyway, I think that's kind of all I have to talk about now. Yeah, we will see the bear fiddle around in his enclosure. Yeah, now you'll see me doing some foliage, but anyway, I'll let the rest of the footage run, and then I'll talk to you again in a real-time portion where we go through this exhibit, see it in person. So see you in a bit. Okay, everyone, here is the final bear exhibit. We get a final overview. Oh, while one of the bears are swimming, I want to go quickly take a peek-see at them. So let's just pop down to Tethered Cam. And you can see our bear, swimming. In the final cinematics I'll also try and get some bears swimming, but yeah, I've been trying to record this for a while and they didn't want to swim. I only had the one bear, so I put a second bear in and she's willing to swim. So cool, I have the actual underwater viewing. I'm gonna swim with her if you want. It's neat. A lot better if she was up close, but I'm not gonna be picky. Anyway, yeah, there's the underwater viewing area. We have a little shade structure. We can see our bear swimming. Have their waterfall up there. Yeah. And let's go and check the elevated viewing platform. Up here we can get a cool overview of the bear exhibit. We have our waterfall, our river, the pond, the climbing frame in the background, and the entrance to the night rooms, which we'll check out in a little bit. Oh, she's still doing a swim. So cool. Oh, right. Let's turn that UI off. Sorry. Oh yeah, in case you didn't know, the way to get to this view, if you just saw now, is you click a staff member and you rename them Tegidcam, Tegidcam, and you can get into this first person view. She's coming up close to the glass. So cool to actually see this. Hello, Mrs. Bear. I believe this is a female. But anyway, over here we do have our climbing frame, which I do believe I can manipulate the bears to go on if I just click move, click on there, if you click on there, there we go. Yeah, there she is, she's on the climbing frame. Really cool. It's a bit annoying that these fences break though. I put in a mechanic, but we'll be fine. So I can see our bear actually climbing on our climbing structures for a change. Okay, that's weird. And she's floating now. Back to normal. Yeah, that's cool. So that kind of acts as enrichment. The climbing actually works with the bear's needs. Which is really... I really love that. I can't wait to try it with actual primates. Called the proper Lemur Island. So now I can just pretend we're guests, leaning over the rail, which is a custom fence I made. And look at the bear climbing. No, I think she's probably going to go to the night room. I think we have a male and he's also in the night room, so let's go around the back and go inside the exhibit. You can see I did try and make a custom staff gate. Partially open. The reason why is because if I put two of them right next to each other, they don't actually quite line up, so this way it looks like they do fully close, but they actually don't. Whatever, I put some staff holdings down to actually get the animals into the zoo. So yeah, now I have a custom gate here that doesn't actually work, but it's supposed to look like a gate that vehicles can come and drop off the bears or pick them up, or staff can go in. We have the entrance to the actual staff room, and as you can see here, I did put some custom tables on so staff can prepare food. Got these little cupboards here, maybe they act as fridges, just storage for stuff. Use a door and some art shapes, and we've got a bin to throw stuff away. We've got these garage doors to bring the bears in and out. And we have the bear actually inside our night room. How's it gonna sleep? They're gonna plump down. You can see how we have the food tray and the water dish, so staff can come and pull those up. And like I said, you're only allowed one habitat gate, so I just put this thing in. Try and act like it's a gate, so if they want to take the bears in or out, just open these doors. And that's actually... for some reason I was selecting the staff I was highlighting all the way back there. Let's go in the actual exhibit. Aha. Go in the night rooms, which are open and the bears can go in. Surprisingly, sometimes their hitboxes are a bit wide, so These doors have to be a bit unrealistically wide sometimes, but I think doesn't think it looked too bad in this case actually. So yeah, if you don't know, just use the heat maps to see if they can go in and out. One waterfall back here. I actually do have a couple, a generator and a pump to just clean the water and turn the lights on in this night room, which actually can show because we have actual functioning lights. They should turn on now. Yep, we've got a night room with lights, which is really cool. Oh, I didn't realize that. This is a sign, so it lights up. Whoops. I did not realize it will do that. Didn't try that at night. Oh well, not too big a deal. You can replace that if you want. Oh yeah, this should be available as a blueprint on the Steam Workshop if you want to check it out. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all we got to show for. Bears, we have them. Just missed him doing a swim. We have our log that can crawl on top. I put some enrichment items over here, along here and there. Climbing frame. And I think welfare-wise, these bears are actually doing quite well. Check here. Yeah, welfare 88%. Nutrition is good. They just, I don't know. I guess you can research to improve their meal quality. Social's okay. Habitat. The terrain's actually quite good. Yeah, there's just a bit too much got, so yeah, but by chance, terrain actually turned out quite well. Even though I don't normally care about the terrain and the plants. Yeah, the plants are 0. Heaven forbid you put a European bush with an American bear. Everyone knows the main difference between a European bear and an American bear is that the European bears can withstand bramble, whereas American bears are deathly allergic to it. Please note that's a joke. They should both be able to handle bramble. It's just really unrealistic on the game. Yeah, that's all we've got to show for. And if you want to put this exhibit in, you can. It is on the large size, I feel. So, thank you for watching this episode and this series. I will probably have a final cinematic video up where I take the cinematics from all the games and just put them side by side and see how the game works. But until then, I'll see you maybe from New Planet Coaster Zoo. Maybe stick around for all the different videos I'm going to make, and I'll see you in those. Bye!